Got our Damascus core. It's like a wavy pattern Damascus. Got our copper. This is 15N20, and this is for the jacket. It's just going to be a mild steel. I only grounded it on one side. No need to grind the other side because that's going to be on the outside. These. Where the hell is my other piece? So we're just gonna stack these and weld them. You gotta make sure to weld these up entirely so that the copper doesn't squeeze out. Already sanded them down, just giving them an extra little rinse with some acetone. Like I was pointing out before, you definitely want, on copper Damascus, you want to weld up all the seams. You want zero atmosphere here. You don't want copper spewing out of the sides. So just take the time and weld that properly all the way through. And if you'll see here, copper does not like to weld, so there's some ugly ass welds, but just do your best to get it closed up like as 100% as possible. Take time and do it. It'll be worth it. Another note, you definitely want to stay near your forge while the copper billet or the copper Damascus billet is in the forge, because the temperature can get away from you pretty quickly. If it does overheat and you know that it's way past 1600 degrees, just air cool it for a bit before you go back into the press. It'll save you from getting copper spewed out everywhere and not in your billet where you want it to be. Here I'm just doing a little final tapping just to get it 100% straight before we cut the rough shape and put it on the surface grinder. One more note, you definitely don't want to forge copper Damascus out to shape. You just get the billet going, because on hammering on it, you're going to deform it. You're going to get copper in your cutting edge, and that's not a useful knife. You won't be able to sell that knife or really use that knife. It won't hold an edge, so don't try to forge the shape. Here with my sweet reference drawing, I just usually draw everything out by hand. I don't have these fancy schematics like people do that print them out and shit. I just draw. I like to draw on them, get the shape, and put it on the billet and grind it out. These carbide bits for the Dremel are pretty sweet. I got them off of Amazon. They'll save you a lot of just hand filing, bruising and stuff like that. So, but if you do get some and use them, just make sure you put on some safety glasses for that. You see all those metal shards that are flying out of my glove. What I'm doing here is I'm putting the billet into some ferrochloride just real quick. I just want to make sure that you see the darkness there. I just want to make sure we got the hardenable steel or the hardened steel in the actual cutting edge, and it looks like we succeeded. If you notice, I usually grind the bevels out, not 100%, but rough grind. In this case, I just left the final, with the final thickness, which was like 3/16, and went ahead and quenched it that way. I just wanted to minimize any any delamination with the copper from the mild steel and the Damascus. And after that, we put it in for 2 hours, 2 increments of 2 hours at 400 degrees in my sweet toaster oven. Now that we got the center line scribed, we're gonna go ahead and grind in our bevels. This actually didn't take too long because the cladding is mild steel, so you know, didn't matter if I quenched first. It's gonna grind out pretty easily. On to the funnest part, which is the hand sanding. Um, I got my Ghost Energy drink, and it seemed to have kicked in like right about now. I went on hyperdrive, and that's all live footage. I didn't speed it up one bit. With this sweet shot of me buffing, yeah, I probably should have taken a little bit of time to realize that that's a shitty angle. So I just like to buff it a little bit before we actually start doing the acid etch. So with copper Damascus, what I like to do is like just short bursts, like short increments of in the acid. We take it out, get our steel wool and Windex, and just take it out, spray it, hit it with the steel wool, soak it off with some water, and then put it back into the acid. And I do that 3 or 4 times, just basically until I get the desired look, the look that I want. You really don't want to leave this copper Damascus blade in there for long increments of time, like maybe you would with regular Damascus, because ferrochloride loves to eat up the copper. Got some stabilized curly maple, well, stabilized in-house, and the curly maple, I got it at my local lumber store. I definitely don't do what I do there. I grabbed a piece of, I think like a piece of wood to help me guide me, so my hands wouldn't be in imminent danger. Here, this is a little tip. I like to, put in a bit 3/16, the same size as the actual, what I'm drilling with. I put it in the holes that I had just drilled out, tap it in there, and then move on to the next hole. And once I, drill through that one, I'll put another pin in there. As you can see, I put the other one in there. It just helps guide you and keep the wood and the knife in line for this process. It just makes this process here, putting in the pins and the handles on and everything, gluing everything up, it makes it much easier. Here we are. Now that it's all set, the glue, we're gonna basically grind off excess wood, basically till we get to steel, start seeing some sparks. Now we're good to go. Just be careful on the spine there. Get a shitty like low spot or something. You don't want that in your knife. So just be careful. Be mindful. I don't have a 3-phase motor, so my shit's going full speed the entire time. So I really gotta be careful with it. And when I do like Coke bottle shape handles, I like to use the contact wheel to, just to blend in, or should I say, angle the knife and get the dimensions there for the Coke bottle shape. worked out well for me. That's the only way I've done it. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it with fancier equipment, but anything that I couldn't get with the actual, grinder that's spinning fast as hell, I like to get it with the file. Just hand file it a bit to more of a desired shape. Obviously, it's going to be a little blocky, or jagged, I guess. I don't know, but I come back in with the sand, like the little sanding strips as you see here, just to smoothen everything out. It takes a little long, but it's part of the process. Here we're just this is stabilized curly maple, but it's the knife is for me, so I didn't bother to go up like to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 grit. So normally I can go up that high and then just hit it on the buffer and it'd get a nice shine, but this knife is for me, so I didn't feel like taking the extra hour to go up to 5,000 grit. And here we are at the finish line. We're putting the final edge on the knife. That's a 120 belt. I went up to a 600 tri-zag belt and then hit it with the leather stroke. But yeah, here's a nice little photo of the knife, and I hope you like the build. If you do, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.